my little Tattle Tells? Listen, did Kevin Hunter just secure the bag, y'all? What am I talking about? Newly leaked emails from the lawsuit between Kevin Hunter and Deborah Mercury, the production company behind the Wendy Williams shows, have surfaced. And baby, it is not looking good for Kevin Hunter at all. At all. Y'all, what am I talking about? Let's get into this report. But you know what I'm about to ask. Hit that like button before we go. All right, let's get into it. Let me give you the background just in case you're new. As previously reported, Kevin filed a $10 million lawsuit against Deborah Mercury and its founders, Ivor Bernstein and Mort Marcus. That's right, he goes straight to where the money resides. He said that Ivor and Mort approached Wendy about the lawsuit. About the Wendy Williams show. I got lawsuit on the mind. In 2007, Kevin was responsible for negotiating the deal as he was her manager at the time. He served as executive producer of the show until 2019 when Wendy slapped him with divorce papers. Because you had an outside baby. And you were acting a damn fool. But hey, you guys, let's get to the money. Let's get to the lawsuit. In the court documents, right, he says that prior to the split, Kevin was responsible for creating the brand for the Wendy Williams show and even was responsible for coming up with hot topics and the shoe camp. In court docs, he goes on to say that Ivor and Mort fired him after the divorce was filed, which he believes was wrong. He literally says, prior to April 2019, Kevin had no reason to believe that his marriage to host Wendy Williams would impact his business relationship with defendants Bernstein, Marcus, and Debmar, since the law prohibited that. I know that's right. Kevin, you act innocent. I mean, the law says you can't discriminate, but you guys did. What do you think? Do I owe my $10 million? That's right, Kevin. You better play stupid and get that money because Wendy's going to need it. Forget, he was executive producer of the Wendy Williams show from the time the show started until 2019. In court docs, he says that Ivor and Mort fired him after the divorce was filed, which he believes was wrong. Now, get this. Kevin says Wendy served him with legal papers on April 11th. You know Wendy was relishing that. They were like, Miss Williams, we should probably get a process server. And Wendy was like, I'll do it myself, doll. How you doing, Kevin? Right? You know Wendy relished it, right? And the funny thing is, you know Deborah Mercury, the way that everyone is literally like rats abandoning a sneaking strip. I think when Wendy divorced Kevin, Deborah Mercury couldn't wait to get Kevin out the way because they looked at Kevin as like her attack dog. They couldn't wait to get him out the way because I think they thought it would give them more access and Wendy would be more of a pushover. Little did they know that Kevin was the one forcing Wendy to go to the show when she wasn't crying in the bathroom singing, I'm not going to cry no more tears over Kevin. But anyway, right? Ivor allegedly emailed him on April 18th, letting him know that he was no longer needed at the show. Oof, you better get every one of those 10 million. You illegally fired someone and now you're talking cocky, but get this. Everybody was saying, Kevin ain't got no proof. Kevin ain't got this. Guess what? Kevin got all the receipts, baby. Deborah Mercury is paying him some money and you better believe it. But get this. Radar Online obtained a copy of the email leaked by Kevin as part of the lawsuit. In it, Ivor wrote, Dear Kevin, out of respect for our 10-year working relationship, we had hoped to meet you in person and travel to New York to do so. But unfortunately, you canceled today's meeting and we are left with no choice but to communicate with you in writing that effective immediately, your role as executive producer on the Wendy Williams show is terminated. And your professional relationship with Deborah Mercury is also concluded. There's more, but really quick. Do you think that they hate themselves for writing this? Ain't nothing more than you try to stunt on someone and it comes back to bite you. It goes on to say, in connection with the termination of employment, you are no longer permitted on the studio premises and all communication regarding your transition, including collection of your belongings from the studio premise, should be handled via your attorney, as you have indicated that you are represented by counsel. The note ended. Your attorney may reach out to either of us directly so we can direct him or her to the appropriate parties. Thank you for your contributions over the years. Kevin, we wish you well. If that wasn't some cold-blooded mess, I know that Kevin was sitting there fuming, eating Sharina's vegan macaroni and cheese. Fuming, talk about, you believe these Negroes had the nerve to talk to me like that? You believe that he was hot. Kevin, in his $10 million lawsuit, argues, do Divorce proceedings do not absolve the producers of their responsibilities to pay him for his contributions to the show and allow him to continue in his role as executive producer unless agreed upon by Kevin and the producers that his role would cease and that the producers would compensate him accordingly. I believe I'm owed $7 to $10 million, and baby, you better have my money. Cause I know Kevin was like, and you saw what I did to Wendy. Don't make me rip apart your life too. Y'all, woo! Listen, we got to talk about a couple things. First of all, you know I can't stand Kevin because of what I heard he did to Wendy. However, y'all, Kevin has I don't want to say airtight because nothing's airtight, but Kevin got a case on his hands. And Debmar Mercury can spin like their name is Kris Jenner, but he does have a wrongful termination. You guys gave no reason for firing him other than the fact that his services are no longer needed because he's no longer married to the showrunner. You didn't even say Wendy fired you. They should have said, and this would have protected them, saying, due to the showrunner not wanting to work with you anymore, it is untenable that we continue this business relationship. I'm sorry, but yeah. Then they would have had a case. He would have had a case, but it would have been against Wendy for wrongful termination since she was the one. They left Wendy out of it. They left everybody's name out of it. Now, why did they do that? Well, I have a couple of theories. Same thing that's going on in Debmar Mercury now with Wendy. The same thing that's going on with Wells Fargo. There was a lack of respect for Kevin, in my opinion, because he did not look like the typical high-powered manager. If his butt had looked like Kris Jenner and had all the Southern California niceties, hey, doll, hey, sweetie, please believe they would have given more respect. Now, I know Kris Jenner's a woman and she had to fight for what she had, but I feel like because Kevin didn't present to them what somebody that was worthy of respect looked like, they thought that they could treat Kevin any type of way. They also thought that they had him by the short hairs because think about it. Had he sued back in the day, they could have pulled Wendy in the lawsuit and said, well, she told us to. And then if Wendy gets hit with some type of judgment, guess what? Wendy has to pay it out of the Wendy Williams show. It lowers her earnings. It also lowers Kevin's alimony. So it's kind of like, you can't cut off your nose to spite your face. Since Debmar Mercury wanted to act funny, right? Since Debmar Mercury wanted to act funny and tried to do the same mess they did to Kevin, to Wendy Williams, talking about your services are no longer needed. We wish you well, Wendy, and maybe if you can get up out of your depressed tears or rehab, wherever you're at, maybe you can come back. We'll talk about it in the future. In the meantime, let's hire a fake spokesperson to say you give all your support and love to Sherri Shepherd. They did the same mess to Wendy they thought they did to Kevin. And now that Wendy and Kevin are being cool again, Wendy has told her attack dog, baby, go wild, go crazy. And Kevin is going around that junkyard getting everybody in order. Now, this does not absolve Kevin from being trash, but you see the way, now that the way you treat people with Debmar Mercury is coming back to haunt you. And y'all, I don't care what y'all say, Kevin has a case. Kevin 100% has a case. There might be other evidence, but if this is the extent of their communications, baby, it's going down. It's going down, and it's going down in a major way. I wonder if Sharina is thinking about how much money can $10 million buy me in vegan cheese? But word on the street is Sharina ain't too happy either, because remember I said Kevin don't stop at nothing to get to the bag? It now looks that the bag might reside up in Wendy's bed, and Sharina ain't too happy about this. But you know what she said? She's handling better now than she can today. You don't know what I'm talking about? Go watch my video about Sharina's cryptic Instagram messages and how it looks like fans might not be wrong that Wendy and Kevin are back together again. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about this, and go and watch the other video and let me know what you think about them getting back together. All right, y'all, talk to y'all later.